So it's once more time for India versus Australia, the big semi-final of the Champions Trophy, and we are building up to that. There was a pre-match press conference done by Rohit Sharma last night, embargoed till this afternoon. We will put that out post 2:30 p.m. in India. 1 p.m. Dubai time is what we were told, till which it is embargoed. Shomik Chakravarty was there. We will put that up post 2:30, exactly as the International Cricket Council regulation mandates. There was a press conference by Rohit Sharma, as I said. There was another press conference. So Australian side will also put out a media this thing. India will not train. As we know, India played last night. What will happen with Australia? What about the team combination? Can there be changes? Will India go in with four spinners? Plenty of questions to answer. Shomik, Bharat, Vaibhav and Gargi joins me. Shomik, you were part of that press conference. I know it is embargoed, so don't talk about that. But give me first the news points. Is Australia training today? Is there a pre-match press conference? What all is happening? Shomik, give me that lowdown before I go to Bharat and Vaibhav.
Australia will have a pre-match press conference at 6 p.m. Dubai time, and they will train from 6:30 p.m. Australia, there is a replacement. Matthew Short has been ruled out, and a replacement has been brought in. Um, Apart from that, India obviously are not training. That's why Rohit did the pre-match press conference after the game yesterday. And basically, that is that. South Africa also came here. South Africa also came here, assuming that they might be playing against India. But now the the lineup for the semi-finals are set. They are moving back to Lahore. South Africa moving back to Lahore, as also New Zealand. New Zealand also did their match day -2 press conference after the game yesterday, which is still embargoed until 1 p.m. Dubai time.
Bharat Ramraj, team combination. Your thoughts? Australia with Matthew Short, is that a blow? What can happen? And India, what are your thoughts before I go to Vaibhav and of course Gargi?
Maybe in a different way, it's a kind of blessing in disguise for Australia because they can bring in Connolly, who bowls some left arm orthodox spin as well. If the track starts to grip here, then he can come into play, or they can pick an extra spinner. So from that perspective, perhaps it's a blessing in disguise for them. Yes, Australia, obviously they will depend still on their batting. Their batting has to fire. They have to basically win the toss, hope to win the toss, get 260, 270 on the board if they can somehow get 260 to 270, and then hope that the bowlers can defend it. So basically might come down the toss for Australia. Yeah, India is definitely the stronger side. They have better spinners, and Australia's pace attack is quite inexperienced. Yes, spinners will come into play in Dubai, but always remember, when there's something in it for spinners, it also helps the pace bowlers because they can use cutters, they can hit the indentations, get some variable bounce. But Australia don't have the experience in their pace ranks. So on paper, India are obviously the favorites. But again, don't want to completely rule out Australia in a ICC knockout final.
Same question for you. Am I right in saying Bharat is saying India favorites? Shomik also kind of touched on that. India favorites, clear favorites, but it's a knockout game. Australia, once again, it's also about pressure, handling of pressure. How do you kind of set this up?
Look, Australia always comes in with a firepower mentality. They're just so good at soaking in the pressure when it comes to ICC tournaments or high pressure games, high octane games, and they always kind of come up with performances that put the pressure back on the opposition, and that's just something Australian players have in them. They have the winning mindset. That's always something to be scared of. But at the same time, with the way that India has been performing, I think India is looking like a very well balanced side. Apart from a few chinks in the armor, which obviously every team has some weakness or the other, and India's, I think at this point KL Rahul, that position thing and wicket keeping, some weaknesses there. But at the same time, it looks like such a balanced side, and I think that's what makes India the favorites going into this heading into this match. Shomik, next question I want to ask you is, obviously last night we saw some incredible bowling from Varun Chakravarty, registered his first 5-wicket haul in ODIs. And at one point it looked like New Zealand did not understand what was going on at all. But When we talk about the semi-final, are you looking at a Varun Chakravarty in the team?
Probably yes. Probably yes. See, after the game yesterday, we asked Akshar Patel. Akshar came in the mix zone, and we asked him what makes Varun Chakravarty so difficult for the opposition batsman. He said he is very difficult to pick off his hand. So therein lies, and also for the fact the way he has been varying his pace at the moment. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I don't know whether going ahead, these four spinners will be the template for India. But the but the fact of the matter is that yesterday we saw a tactical masterstroke when four spinners, for the first time in an ODI, India went with a four-pronged spin attack. It it hasn't happened before. And when the team was picked, when that some eyebrows are raised that only two seamers, given that, and also Shami took a blow on his shoulder while running between the wickets when he was batting. A throw came in and hit him on the right shoulder. So he was receiving medical attention on the fence when India was fielding. So we thought it could be fraught with risk, but that didn't happen. And the way Rohit Sharma managed and handled his four spinners, once the door was made ajar, he instantly brought Varun Chakravarty for his second spell. It was absolutely brilliant captaincy. From the tactical point of view, India gave a tactical masterclass yesterday. And from Varun's point of view, Gautam Gambhir spoke about he could be India's X factor. Before the Champions Trophy, he said that. So Varun, in his first Champions Trophy game, and what he did yesterday was his redemption song. 4 years ago at the same venue, he was, sort of toyed with by the Pakistan batsmen, Babar and Rizwan. Now at the same venue he came. Over the last 3-4 years, the way he redeveloped his bowling, uh, making a transformation from a side spin bowler to an overspin operator, stuff like that. And the matches he has played, Varun said at the press conference, the matches he has played, the number of matches, be it the Vijay Hazare Trophy, Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy, TNPL, IPL. So it has kind of gave him the confidence. The new variations he tried, that gave him the confidence to do that in international cricket. And Varun, obviously has proven to be India's X factor.
रोहित जुगलान also joins us. रोहित, बात हो रही है वरुण चक्रवर्ती की, बहुत बढ़िया परफॉर्मेंस उन्होंने दी है. That four spinner ploy, it looks like it's coming to fruition. आपको क्या लगता है सेमीफाइनल्स की अगर बात करें, does Varun Chakravarty walk in the team?
I think हाँ, अगर आप if you talk about his performance yesterday, इस चीज के बारे में हम लोग बात भी कर रहे थे काफी टाइम से कि क्या आप एक एक्स्ट्रा सीमर को बिठाकर एक एक्स्ट्रा प्रॉपर स्पिनर खिला सकते हो रादर देन गोइंग विद टू प्रॉपर स्पिनर्स, क्योंकि वो आपके पास एक ताकत के लिहाज से, आपकी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिहाज से यहाँ पर सूट करता है आपको. अगर वो कोई और पेसर या एक स्पिनर एक्स्ट्रा होता देन कुड बी अ टोटली डिफरेंट स्टोरी. बट अगर आप देखोगे कि वरुण चक्रवर्ती को लाना और इसके साथ साथ अगर आप देखोगे ओवरऑल कुलदीप यादव, अक्षर पटेल, रविंद्र जडेजा, 4 आपके पास प्रॉपर स्पिनर्स हो जाते हैं. 40 ओवर इस विकेट पे प्रॉपर स्पिनर्स के साथ किसी भी टीम को दिक्कत आएगी. और न्यूजीलैंड वन ऑफ द बेटर टीम्स, मतलब मुझे नहीं लगता सामने कोई और टीम है ऐसी जो स्पिनर्स को इतना अच्छा खेलती हो जितना न्यूजीलैंड की टीम खेलती है. और ये इन्होंने दिखाया भी है. चाहे वो इंडिया न्यूजीलैंड की टेस्ट सीरीज हो, वहां पर भी स्पिन लो स्लो विकेट्स थे जहां पर उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग करी. चाहे वो हमारे अगेंस्ट सेमीफाइनल का गेम हो, उसमें भी उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग करी. धर्मशाला में उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग करी थी. सो अगर हम उस इक्वेशन को देखें तो ये एक मास्टर स्ट्रोक है गौतम गंभीर की तरफ से, और इसको आप कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हो, क्योंकि ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया की टीम सिर्फ एक ट्रेविस हेड बहुत बड़ी टेंशन है. उनके अलावा मुझे नहीं लगता, यस जॉश इंग्लिश ने भी रन्स बनाए हुए हैं, बट मुझे नहीं लगता कि उनके अलावा कोई एक बहुत बड़ा अपने दिन पर कोई भी खेल सकता है, बट वो कंसर्न वही रहने वाले ट्रेविस हेड.
रोहित, मुझे ये बताओ तुम्हारा फोन का क्या हुआ? दुनिया भर का क्वेश्चन आ गया मेरे पास.
नहीं सर, वो तो अभी नहीं मिला है, अभी नहीं मिला है, अभी मिल जाएगा तो बता दूंगा मैं, अभी कोई फोन नहीं है.
Because a lot of people were asking me what happened to Rohit Juglan's phone. So in
Yes,
case you have any issues, please let me know.
No issues, no issues.
Okay, so Rohit advocates four spinners. I think Bharat advocated the same. Shobik, have you spoken on the team combination? What is your thing? Because a sponsor call, so I had to leave out, go out for 5 minutes. Is it the same combination you reckon? Four spinners? Is that the way forward for India? And are India favorites for this particular match?
I think so. I mean I cannot discuss here what Rohit said at the press conference. So I think so. I think so. Given the conditions, and after that performance, how will you drop Varun? It would be a very tough call to drop Varun after a 5-4 in his first Champions Trophy game, and the way he completely bamboozled. And it's I mean, mind, this is not an England batting lineup. This is a quality, solid New Zealand batting lineup. Kane Williamson, only Kane Williamson, he had a couple of reprieves yesterday, but he was giving a master class of playing spin on a slow turning on a turning pitch. But apart from that, then again required that India's spin choke ensured that the required rate was steadily going up, and eventually that became big on New Zealand. I would say this is now whatever Australia in the semi-final, whoever plays in the final, this is now India's tournament to lose.
All right. Bharat, Bhargav is saying everyone's ignoring Aksar's all-round performance. What do you say?
Yeah, no one. I don't think anyone is ignoring. He's very much a utility cricketer. At least in my opinion, I wouldn't have ignored his performance because he came in with India 3 down very early in the innings and went on to get that 42. And with the ball in hand, you may not get as much purchase as Ravindra Jadeja in terms of turn because Jadeja gives the ball a little more rip and his seam presentation is much better. But he keeps it simple, stump to stump line. He bowls with a round arm action. So if you miss, he will hit. That is basically what Aksar Patel does with a little bit of scrambled seam. And that is what he basically did it yesterday. Kept it quite tight and finally got, I guess, Williamson's wicket and also got those 40 odd runs. He's very much your utility cricketer, which we saw even in that World Cup final against South Africa. He came good with the bat just when India wanted someone to stay out there. So, yeah, he's always there and thereabouts, especially in limited overs cricket. And when there is any turn or resistance in the pitch with the scrambled seam stuff, he will also come into play in Test cricket.
Yeah. Web of freaking awesome is saying, I'm afraid India may miss Arshdeep if India don't strike early. Head can bat well, even on tough conditions. Even in the South semi-final between Australia and South Africa in 2023 World Cup, he batted well on a tough wicket at Eden Gardens.
See, wickets with the new ball is a concern since the England series only. Means Mohammad Shami not in full rhythm, and if you are only playing one proper seamer and then relying on Hardik Pandya, yes, Hardik has given you wickets in the last game. He did it, in the against Pakistan. He got Babar Azam out. But again, wickets with the new ball will be key against Australia because if you allow Travis Head to settle, he will get the momentum going in his innings, and that can create a lot of problems. Yes, Australia don't have a proper means a specialist opener as of now because Matthew Short is out, and Matthew Short is out is a big blow to Australia because in the first game which Australia chased down a 350 total, he scored a half century in that game. He's a guy who can use his reach against the spinners and can provide quick starts to the team. But since he's been ruled out, I don't think now Australia has a proper opener in their squad. Yes, Jake Fraser McGurk is there in the squad, but he hasn't done anything substantial ever since the IPL. Be it the MLC, BBL, or whatever games he has played for Australia, Jake Fraser McGurk is completely out of touch. Now they have brought in Cooper Connolly. Cooper Connolly again is a 21 year old who has just played 3 ODIs, hasn't done anything in those games. He's a bit this or that kind of cricketer, batting all-rounder who can bowl, but again not your proper bowler. So and where you will play him if you have to replace a Matt Shot, who will come in his place, like Cooper Connolly or even Aaron Hardy is there in the squad. So I think Australia has a big problem. Losing Matthew Shot just before a big semi-final is a big blow to them, and that's why even if India don't pick wickets with the new ball, then also I don't think it's a big concern, because then you will have an Akshar Patel coming in and a Varun Chakravarty coming in, and they can deliver wickets on this Dubai track, which is on the slower side. So I don't think Australia will be able to get the quick starts here as they did in Lahore.
Now, this is a question I want to ask both Shomik and Rohit. A lot of people talking about KL Rahul's wicket keeping and Varun Chakravarty's that dropped catch into the boundary as well. But let's focus on KL Rahul a little bit. Everyone keeps saying, you need a specialist wicket keeper in these conditions. Do you see a Rishabh Pant coming in the next match? Shomik, what do you think? Starting off with you.
See, the thing is that I don't think India will tweak in terms of the wicketkeeper's batsman's position, because they have now settled with KL Rahul. But I personally, my personal choice is Rishabh Pant. It's not about his wicket keeping. He is a better wicketkeeper. Obviously, Rahul is a part-timer. Rishabh Pant is a specialist wicketkeeper. But his batting also, in the sense, KL Rahul will not, if it gets tight, KL Rahul is not a game breaker as a batsman, which Rishabh Pant is. So Indian team should seriously consider at this option. KL Rahul will give you a steady knock. He will play second fiddle to a partnership. That is fine. But he cannot take the game away from the opponents. And when you have entered now the business end of the tournament, a team like Australia with such fantastic records at ICC events, and they are being India's nemesis. You need that kind of. Gautam Gambhir spoke about Varun Chakravarty being his bowling X factor, and Rishabh Pant can prove to be his batting X factor. So I'd like to see Rishabh Pant, but my personal choice doesn't matter. The team management has a plan. I don't see them tweaking. They maybe, in all likelihood, they will stick to KL Rahul. Gargi, I will take your leave for the fact that at 12:30 I have an interview lineup with Yuki Bamri. Okay,
Yes, no worries,
so
no
I
worries.
will I will prepare for that. Okay.
Okay, see you. Okay. Rohit, same question. KL राहुल की बहुत बातें हो रही है. ऋषभ पंत इज बेटर एट नंबर 6. KL राहुल विकेट के पीछे भी थोड़े बहुत मिस्टेक्स हो रहे हैं. अनुराग पी कह रहे फील्डिंग एंड विकेट कीपिंग इज अ कंसर्न एंड एनी प्लान्स अगेंस्ट हेड. सो मतलब इसी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लेते हुए डू यू सी अ ऋषभ पंत कमिंग इन?
अब पहली चीज तो देखो, मैं इससे थोड़ा डिसएग्री करूंगा दैट केएल राहुल के साथ आप देखोगे अगर पिछले 3-4 सालों में, तो ओडीआईज में नंबर 5 पे उन्होंने इंडिया को काफी मैचेस जिताए हुए हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आपको मैचेस नहीं जिता सकते हैं या वो उस तरीके का गेम नहीं खेल सकते हैं जिस तरीके के गेम की इंडिया को रिक्वायरमेंट है नंबर 5 पे. ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाला गेम बहुत बड़ा गेम था जो आप पहला ही गेम खेले थे, और आपके टॉप ऑर्डर मतलब रोहित शर्मा 0. फिर अगर आप देखोगे दूसरी तरफ से शुभमन गिल तो खेले नहीं थे, डेंगी हो गया था उन्हें. लेकिन अगर आप ओवरऑल उस मैच को भी देखोगे तो बहुत अंडर प्रेशर मैच था, और केएल राहुल ने आपको गेम जिता कर दिया था विद विराट कोहली. और ऐसे बहुत सारे मैचेस हैं. आप न्यूजीलैंड, मतलब जब से उन्होंने 5 नंबर पर बैटिंग करना शुरू किया है, वन यू लॉट ऑफ गेम्स देयर. ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने आपको गेम्स नहीं जिताए हैं. ऋषभ पंत देखो, एक्स फैक्टर उनको 2019 वर्ल्ड कप से बोला जा रहा है, बट और जो अगर आप सैंपल साइज देखोगे, लुक वरुण चक्रवर्ती के साथ एक्स फैक्टर कहना मेरे को लगता है इसलिए भी बहुत सही है क्योंकि अभी उन्होंने एक तो उनको लेकर के एक वो मिस्ट्री चली आ रही है. आई डोंट नो कितना ये वर्ड यूज करना चाहिए मिस्ट्री, बट उनको लेकर के एक है, लोगों में एक शक रहता है कि यार ये सेम ग्रिप से अंदर भी ले आता है, सेम बॉल से वो फ्लिपर भी मार देता है, किसी भी तरीके से आपको जो है चकमा दे देता है. बट अगर आप देखोगे तो उनके साथ ऋषभ पंत के अंडर हिज बेल्ट लॉट ऑफ गेम्स हैं. अगर आप ओडीआई देखोगे, T20 में तो वो 70 से ज्यादा गेम खेल चुके हैं, ओडीआईज में भी काफी गेम्स खेल चुके हैं, लेकिन बैट से वो परफॉर्मेंस नहीं आई है. तो वो जस्टिफाई नहीं कर पाए उन सारी चीजों को। वरुण चक्रवर्ती के साथ हम ऐसा नहीं कह सकते। वरुण चक्रवर्ती आपके एक्स फैक्टर हो सकते हैं, बट ऋषभ पंत को आपने बहुत सारे गेम्स दिए हुए हैं ऑलरेडी, और उन गेम्स के बाद भी उनका परफॉर्मेंस ना आ पाना, यस एक उम्मीद है, लेकिन उम्मीद के भरोसे थोड़ी खिलाड़ी को खिलाया जाता है। टैलेंट कितना है ये नहीं देखा जाता, टैलेंट को कन्वर्ट कितनी बार किया जा रहा है एक वक्त के बाद ये देखा जाता है। शुरू शुरू में कोई खिलाड़ी आता है, बोलते यार क्या टैलेंटेड प्लेयर है, इसको खिलाना चाहिए, लेकिन जब वो खिलाड़ी आपको टैलेंट जब परफॉर्मेंस पे नहीं जा रहा है, तो फिर आप ये बात कब तक बोलते रहोगे कि टैलेंट है, या किसी भी तरह का एक उसको देखकर ये उम्मीद लगती है कि यार ये रन बना लेगा। नाउ द सेकंड पॉइंट इज Rishabh Pant any day as a wicket keeper can walk in ahead of KL Rahul, और ये चीज सचमुच में आपको उस दिन डराएगी जिस दिन कुछ बड़ा हो जाएगा आपके साथ, आप किसी सेमीफाइनल या फाइनल को हार जाओगे। कल भी अगर आप देखो, लोग कह रहे हैं यार वरुण चक्रवर्ती ने तो वो तो फ्री हिट का बॉल था। मेरा मसला ये नहीं है वो बॉल फ्री हिट का था या नहीं था, मेरा मसला ये है कि कैच तो होना चाहिए था। फ्री हिट में क्या कैच नहीं पकड़ने चाहिए आपको अगर फ्री हिट है तो? उसके बाद आपने जो चौका दे दिया वो एक अलग मसला है भाई, मैं ये और उसके अलावा भी एक स्क्वायर लेग पे एक चांस बना था, वो भी उनके हाथ के बगल से ही निकला था। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि उनके पास चांसेस, और इसके अलावा भी आप देखो फील्डिंग उनके लिए एक मसला रही है। इस टीम में कम से कम कोई खिलाड़ी ऐसा ना हो जिसको छुपाया जाना हो कि भाई इसको कहां छुपा दें इस खिलाड़ी को। ये इंडिया की क्रिकेट टीम है यार, ये कोई पाकिस्तान की क्रिकेट टीम नहीं है जिसमें आप 11 में से 7 खिलाड़ी ऐसे देखते हो यार इसे कहां छुपाया जाए, इसे कहां छुपाया जाए। यू हैव एवरीथिंग यू आस्क फॉर यार, आपके पास इतना अच्छा फील्डिंग कोच है जिसने कुलदीप यादव की आप फील्डिंग देखो, आप देखो वरुण चक्रवर्ती पे अगर आप इंग्लैंड सीरीज देखोगे तो इंग्लैंड सीरीज में वो डाइवे मार रहे थे यार, बाउंड्री पे डाइव मार रहे थे। तो अगर आप उनकी फील्डिंग देखोगे बिल्कुल मसले हैं। केएल राहुल पहले मैच में बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट स्टंपिंग चांस छोड़ा, कैच का भी अपॉर्चुनिटी था उसमें। दूसरी तरफ अगर आप देखोगे यहां पर भी उन्होंने जो है वो बायस दिए और इसके साथ साथ कैचेस छोड़े हैं। तो मेरा सिर्फ मसला ये है कि आपको उस दिन फर्क पड़ेगा जिस दिन आप बोलोगे यार सेमीफाइनल हार गए। यही कैच ट्रेविस हेड का छोड़ दिया जाएगा, केन विलियमसन का कैच, केन विलियमसन 17 रन पर थे, 17 रन पर उन्होंने केन विलियमसन का कैच छोड़ दिया था। उसके बाद आप देखो उन्होंने कितने रन बनाए हैं। यही काम अगर आप ट्रेविस हेड का भी पहले मैच में यहाँ पर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में कैच छूटा गया था, उन्होंने देखो 50 कन्वर्ट किया उसको। तो सवाल यह है कि अगर आप इस तरीके से अपॉर्चुनिटीज छोड़ोगे विकेट के पीछे, और ये कंसिस्टेंटली हो रहा है इंडिया के साथ, मैं कल के मैच के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूं, पहला मैच भी बोल रहा हूं, इंग्लैंड वाली सीरीज भी बोल रहा हूं, केएल राहुल बिहाइंड द विकेट्स इन अ स्लो लो विकेट्स इज अ प्रॉब्लम एज फार एज विकेट कीपिंग इज कंसर्न्ड। ऐसे में आपको एक प्रॉपर
I agree. Because what he's saying, he's getting up quicker, and he has multiple times, and we have seen he's got an issue.
Yeah.
And if you are not, I mean, there are two parts to what Rohit is answering, and I want your comment, and then go to Bharat and Vaibhav also. That if you are not batting him at his comfortable position at 5, yesterday you were 30 for 3. It was your best opportunity to send in KL Rahul. You sent in Akshar Patel. So clearly you have enough faith in Akshar Patel. So if you don't want to send in KL Rahul at number 5 and he's not your number 1 wicketkeeper, which Rishabh Pant is, then why are you continuing with KL Rahul? Now, the counterpoint is this is a semi-final. So what?
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant is also a big game player. He's had little pressure in the past. I mean, so what if it's a big semi-final? It is against Australia, and Rishabh Pant has had, even in this series, in Sydney, he played one of the best innings of that tour. So why not Rishabh Pant? Your thoughts?
Look, Rishabh Pant is not a rookie in this team. Rishabh Pant is not an amateur. He's been in the international circuit for long enough, and he has the capability and the X factor to take on the pressure of a high octane game, of a semi-final game. So if your excuse at this point is that it's a semi-final and we can't change the playing 11 in the semi-final, it doesn't make any sense, because this is not about KL Rahul, this is not about Rishabh Pant, this is about what's best for Team India. And if you're going to, like you said, like you pointed out, we spoke about this last night as well, the 30 for 3, KL Rahul was the person, was the batter who could have come in and done his job. That's where he does his best, paces the innings well. But you sent in an Akshar Patel who also did the job well. So if you already have a batter like that, if you're promoting Akshar Patel ahead of a KL Rahul, and KL Rahul is batting out of position, isn't doing well behind the wickets, then how does it make sense to keep hampering his confidence and playing him at his unnatural position, and when he's not doing well behind the wickets?
Vaibhav, I think Rohit and Gargi make some very important points here.
Just one point.
Yeah.
Just one point. And they had done ऋषभ को इन्होंने इंडिया वर्सेस इंग्लैंड सेमीफाइनल, ऑस्ट्रेलिया 2022 भी यही किया था।
Exactly.
डीके को लास्ट मोमेंट पे सेमीफाइनल पे बाहर कर दिया था, और ऋषभ पंत को लेकर आ गए थे। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये किया नहीं जा सकता, ये बिल्कुल किया जा सकता है, नोइंग द थिंग्स।
एग्रीड। एंड मेरे सामने आउट हुआ था, पागल हो गए थे, बिकॉज मैं जाके गैलरी में बैठ के मैच देख रहा था इन केस थोड़ा लक चेंज हो जाए आफ्टर 10 for 3, और मेरे सामने ऋषभ आउट हुआ था एंड मैं उठ के चला गया, बिकॉज दैट वाज द मोस्ट हॉरिबल डे इन इंडियन क्रिकेट। वैभव, वेयर डू यू स्टैंड ऑन दिस?
See, I think it comes down to the team management because the team management before the Champions Trophy, they said quite clearly, Gambhir said that KL Rahul is our first choice wicket keeper. But when you are playing KL Rahul, you should play him at his best position, which is number 5, which hasn't been the case, not in the England series, not in the Champions Trophy. When you have already made up your mind that, Akshar Patel will be your number 5, then there is no point in keeping KL Rahul at number 6 or number 7 because he's not your finisher. He's not your out and out finisher. So I have serious doubts why KL Rahul is batting at number 6 or 7. Yes, Akshar is doing nothing wrong at number 5, but who's better in finishing games, Akshar or KL Rahul? Then I will say Akshar is better at finishing games than KL Rahul because he has done in IPL, he has done for India as well. You have an Akshar, Hardik, and Ravindra Jadeja to finish, but KL Rahul can never be your finisher. So why you are playing him at 6 or 7, I don't know. But like everyone is saying, Rishabh Pant's addition, I don't see. I don't think playing Rishabh Pant in the semi-final is going to be this straightforward because conditions are different. It's going to be very difficult. Whoever is playing in this Dubai conditions for the first time, it's going to be a very tough challenge because straighter boundaries are big and the pitch is on the slower side. So it's not going to be easy for Pant either to come and hit it from the ball one. So I think it's now since you have already played KL Rahul in all the 3 games, I don't think you should make changes to the lineup now.
Okay, so our panel is divided: Rohit Juglan, Rishabh Pant, Gargi Raut, Rishabh Pant, and both have given their reasons. Vaibhav, no, continue with KL Rahul. Don't change at this point because it's difficult for a newcomer. Vaibhav, Bharat, where do you stand on this?
Yeah, the only thing I would add is India have backed KL Rahul to the hilt. Suddenly, if you change in the semi-final, then perhaps it doesn't look good because you have backed a player to the hilt, and even it's not fair on Rishabh Pant as well. Suddenly, you are having him in the semi-final. He wouldn't have got used to the conditions here in this particular tournament, and suddenly you want to go. So suddenly you want Rishabh Pant to fire on all cylinders and get 50 or take a lot of catches. So in that sense, maybe I think I will go with KL Rahul just for that sake, from that perspective. But I understand where it is coming from because KL Rahul is not a regular wicketkeeper in these conditions with the ball gripping a little bit, with the ball turning a bit. He could drop a catch or two. That is something that's expected. But but India should have tried Rishabh Pant before in this tournament if that was the case. Suddenly having him in a semi-final, it doesn't seem logical, at least to me.
Rohit, this is going to be a real debate, Rishabh Pant versus KL Rahul, because dono taraf arguments hai, and as you said, I'm actually, my personal opinion is KL Rahul in these conditions is not a very good wicket keeping option. I would have gone with Rishabh Pant, but I understand where Bharat and Vaibhav are coming from, because this one match, one knockout match, a couple of drop catches could seal your fate. Coming to the Australian side, Rohit, yes, their bowling is slightly weak, but the batting is superb. Would Australia want to sort of, even if they win the toss, they would want to bowl first? Is that a possibility कि यार batting से हम लोग जो भी करेगा opponent वो manage कर लेंगे? From an Australian standpoint, they have very little to lose. India has all the pressure. India are the favorites. India has everything, bless you. India has everything going for them. Are Australia the underdogs, and will that help Australia? Rohit Juglan.
अब बुरेदा, मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया इस तरीके से सोचेगा कि हम अंडरडॉग्स हैं या फिर हम इस मैच में एक सेकेंडरी टीम के रूप में आ रहे हैं. उनको ये चीज नहीं लग रही है और उन्होंने पहले ही गेम से उनको गेम्स नहीं मिले. अदरवाइज मुझे लगता है कि ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम यहां तक आते आते वो माहौल बना देती कि यार देखो ये टीम जो है अपने 4 से 5 स्टार प्लेयर्स के बिना मौजूद है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी कितनी इजीली जीत रही है. आप पहला गेम देखो, 2 विकेट जल्दी गिर गए, ट्रेविस हेड वापस चला गया, अंडर प्रेशर थे, लेकिन उसके बाद जॉश इंग्लिश ने आके वो काम कर दिया. सो with ICC tournaments in Australia, I never put them secondary. Yes, India यहाँ पर खेल रहा है, इंडिया के पास स्पिन अटैक बहुत अच्छा है, उनकी फॉर्म बड़ी जबरदस्त है, वो चीज जरूर लगेगी ऑस्ट्रेलिया को. ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने भी कल का मैच क्लोजली देखा होगा और उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली चाहे वो वरुण चक्रवर्ती को पढ़ने की कोशिश करे, चाहे किसी भी बॉलर को, इंडिया के बॉलर को पढ़ने की कोशिश करें, वो एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है। लेकिन मुझे लगता है इस विकेट पर आपकी ताकत क्या है वो आपको तब सोचना है जब आप ये सोच लोगे कि यार हम अगर सेकंड बैट करते हैं तो क्या हम में इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है कि हम इस मुश्किल होती हुई विकेट पे एक इजी चेज करने जा रहे हैं। अदरवाइज, क्योंकि कल आप देखिए केन विलियमसन जैसा बैटर इतना ज्यादा शेल में चला गया, इतना ज्यादा, वो गलत रिव्यू लिया, बॉल्स बहुत कंज्यूम कर ली और उसके बाद भी रन्स नहीं बने। ऐसा भी नहीं है कि न्यूजीलैंड को बहुत पास तक लेकर गए और एक बहुत कम मार्जिन से न्यूजीलैंड की टीम हारी है। सो ऑस्ट्रेलिया को ये तब सोचना है जब वो ये जान पाए कि नहीं यार, हम इंडिया को ना 200 सवा 200 के अंदर आउट कर देंगे, तब हम चेज करते हैं। और 200 सवा 200 भी ये बॉलिंग जिस फॉर्म में है बहुत मुश्किल क्रिएट करने वाली है, क्योंकि अब मसला ये है कि आपके पास कोई भी ऐसा, मतलब एडम जैम्पा को छोड़कर उनके पास कोई भी ऐसा बॉलर नहीं है जो यहाँ पे मेरे को लगता है इंडिया के लिए एक हैवॉक क्रिएट कर सकता है। ठीक है, अब मैक्सवेल बॉल डाल लेगा, कूपर कॉनली को लेकर आए, अगर वो गेंद डालते हैं, वो भी एक बैटिंग ऑलराउंडर है और उनको अभी अपना बैटिंग पोजीशन भी रीशफल करना है क्योंकि मैथ्यू शॉट बाहर हो चुके हैं। तो क्या वो जॉश इंग्लिश को नंबर 1 पे लाएंगे, जो मुझे पॉसिबल लग रहा है कि जॉश इंग्लिश शायद नंबर 1 खेलेंगे और फिर ट्रेविस हेड नंबर 2 खेलेंगे और उसके बाद 5वें नंबर पर शायद कूपर कॉनली आ जाएंगे। जो उन्होंने जिस 3 ही मैचेस खेले उन्होंने तो कोई बहुत ज्यादा ऐसा बैटिंग ऑर्डर कुछ बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर नीचे नहीं करना है। बट मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया अगर पहले बैटिंग करती है, उन्हें 250 से ऊपर तो बहुत आसानी से जाना पड़ेगा और 250 से ऊपर जाने के बाद ही वो ये सोच सकते हैं कि हम इस गेम में कहीं आ सकते हैं। 250 तो मैं मिनिमम कह रहा हूं, आपको 280 के आसपास रहना पड़ेगा कहीं।
Last closing comments, because 5 p.m. we will do matchups also, because that's what we will do. We will do 4 sets of matchups at 5 p.m. because that's a big show, and I think Bharat, Rohit, Shomik, and Vaibhav will all join from the academy where Australia is supposed to train, or wherever the Australia is supposed to train. So we will continue with this big build-up. Australia is the new Pakistan, as I continuously say. This is one rivalry. This is cricket's greatest rivalry. In white ball cricket, this is far bigger than the Ashes. Make no mistake, it is Australia versus India. That is cricket's biggest rivalry in white ball cricket. But Vaibhav, I want to finish this round of questioning. Is it also between Virat Kohli versus Adam Zampa? Is it also that matchup? 5 p.m. we will go deeper. But Virat Kohli, Adam Zampa, are you looking forward to that? If Kohli survives the first and gets into the middle overs, that is. Vaibhav.
See, given the history between Adam Zampa and Virat Kohli, particularly in ODI cricket, it's always going to be a big threat. Adam Zampa always brings his A game against Virat Kohli, and these are the conditions which will favor him. These are the conditions which will suit his style of bowling. And the biggest thing is, yesterday I was listening to Adam Zampa's press conference. He said at the academy that I haven't played my best game yet. Though 2 games washed out, 1 game against England, he said I'm still not at my best. And this is what keeps me going, that when I am not at my best, I will perform in the big games. This is what Adam Zampa said. So obviously he's looking forward to the big game against India, and Virat Kohli will be a big wicket. And in these conditions, as Rohit Bhai said, that Adam Zampa becomes the most important bowler for Australia, because if you look at their bowling resources, they lack quality and they lack experience as well. So Zampa becomes the most important bowler. He has the experience and he has to lead the bowling attack now.
And Bharat, if you remember 2021, David Warner got the player of the tournament, but Adam Zampa was as good. In fact, David Warner that night told me that the player of the tournament should have gone to Zampa. 4 overs, 12-2. That kind of performance continuously throughout the tournament. Again, back in Dubai, he's got a great record in that Dubai International Stadium. Bharat Ramraj, before I close with Gargi and Rohit.
Yeah, he's a gritty spinner. He may not have long fingers like some other great spinners, but he makes the most of his limitations. And in these conditions where there is a little bit of grip, he becomes doubly dangerous, because he's someone not a big turner of the ball because he doesn't have those long fingers. But when there's a little bit of grip and there's a little bit of assistance in the track, then a spinner like Adam Zampa becomes a huge threat, because his control is good and he's very good with subtle variations. So here he will be a threat, especially for someone like Virat Kohli if he comes up against him, because he doesn't play left-arm spinners who take the ball away from him, or the leg spinners who get a little bit of turn away from him. So that will be a huge challenge for Kohli, especially Kohli.
Rohit, specifically on Zampa, how important and is that Virat Kohli versus Adam Zampa, that matchup? And on the other hand, I just want to add Shreyas Iyer into that mix. Is he the one who can disturb Zampa?
I think if you see yesterday's batting of Shreyas Iyer, definitely he'll be your key factor. Shreyas Iyer will be the one who can take the attack, and score those quick runs, and yesterday if you see, he was little feeling uncomfortable at the very start, and even the pressure which Akshar Patel was creating, because at one point of time there was a lot of dot balls being consumed by Akshar Patel, and after that only he started to score those boundaries, those couple of boundaries in back to back overs. Then it started, the runs started coming, and in between 9 to 10 over space there was a time when there was no boundary in between. So uh, at that point of time, the way Shreyas Iyer batted, he didn't took pressure of Akshar Patel's batting on him, and thought like, I have to play a different kind of cricket at this point of time, or I have to be a little more aggressive. So I think the it's seriously important the way Shreyas Iyer play with the kind of spin attack Australia, as Weber rightly said, they don't have anyone apart from Adam Zampa, be it Kunli, be it Glenn Maxwell, any of them is a part-time spinner or just over it. But but if you see their attack, I don't think there's too much to ask for. Yes, Virat Kohli and Adam Zampa will be, if I'm not wrong, Adam Zampa was the highest wicket taker also in the T20 World Cup 2021. So it will be a good competition. The way Virat was struggling, especially against the right arm leggies. But I think he's started working on his back foot and front foot game in the practice sessions also. The way he using his crease, especially the way he used it against Abrar, I think he was showing some signs of using those back foots going deep into the crease. So let's see what Virat can bring up in front of Australia.
So we will close out with you. Shombit says you flip your position on KL Rahul. Clear your position and answer that question.
I have been backing KL Rahul since before the BGT, and we have had multiple discussions on that. KL Rahul will be your game changer, or will be one of those batters that perform a pivotal role in Test cricket or in that particular Border Gavaskar Trophy, and which is what happened for a few matches as well. But when it comes to now, what's happening in the Champions Trophy, it would be completely impractical and also unfair of me to say that even though I backed KL Rahul back then, that he's not serving any purpose for in the Indian team right now. He's not doing well behind the wickets.
But is it because of the change in order?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That
So
you see KL Rahul, you see his position in ODIs, you see the stats numbers. Best is 4-5. He's been constantly changed in the past few months. Look at how many positions he's batted at in the past 6 months.
So your contention is, if KL was batting at 4 or 5, you would have persisted with him?
Yeah.
Because his batting position has been pushed down to 6, which is not his comfortable position.
Absolutely.
That is why you would want to see Rishabh, and in conditions where his keeping can be suspect. Is that the case?
Absolutely.
Shomit, that is the position that she is taking on KL Rahul. You are welcome to differ, but that, I think, is a fairly important piece of opinion that she is giving. But again, everybody has their right to differ and give his or her opinion. So that's where we stand on this particular issue. I'll close there. But at 5 p.m., I know all my colleagues will be at the training or from wherever. We will do a detailed show on matchups. India versus Australia, key matchups coming up at 5 p.m. I hope Rohit Juglan gets his phone back, because it's very disturbing if one loses his phone. So Rohit Juglan, Bharat Ramraj, Vaibhav Tripathi, Gargi Raut, to everybody watching, and we will try and take as many questions as possible at 5 p.m. as well. Thank you everyone for watching.